Hey friends, Jason here for ChartGuys, checking out some tickers. These have been voted as the TCG tickers to review, top 5 tickers as voted by the community. So we're going to take a look at BA. We covered BA a few times. I made the mistake of calling it a boring ticker here on June 2nd. We had a massive day that followed, and the volume today is actually just slightly more than the previous day, but still a very substantial volume day. The big difference here is that we're now overbought. Our RSI is at 72.62, and we did not manage to stay above the 186.48 resistance. So we still have a zone of resistance up here that bulls need to clear. If and when we can clear that, there is going to be ample opportunity for a bull run to continue, because we haven't built up a lot of resistance on our quick drop down. We managed to chew through all of this action, and now we are ready, at least in theory, for these bulls to see a substantial move to the upside. Question is today's little green candlestick a spinning top of indecision or a spinning top of consolidation? That's what these sub-time frame reviews are all about. So let's take a look at our macro resistance levels. First of all, we have that 188.60, today's high of day. We also have that previous support. The zone between these two levels, 188.60 and 186.48, that's an important area for us to be paying special attention to. On the daily time frame, we have daily support at 142.94. Those are going to be important levels for us. Bulls need to break 188.60 for higher highs. Anything over 142.94 allows them to continue this daily uptrend and start building that continued base of support for that further breakout. On the 4-hour time frame, we are still overbought 82.35, starting to see a little bit of consolidation here. And that is important because we have not established a good 4-hour support. In fact, I'm not even confident in calling this one a 4-hour support, but it's the closest thing we have. 152.77 below that 142.94 key levels. On the hourly time frame, we start to see a little bit more consolidation. And this is where we start to wonder what kind of spinning top we had. We saw the bulls make a big break for it. Bears answered back. They were not able to follow through. We see the bulls come up again, get rejected from that 186.48 level. So not great consolidation, not terrible consolidation. We're still holding the hourly uptrend. But if bulls manage to lose this key level, 180.71, we're going to be looking for more substantial consolidation. I would suspect that we'd be coming down to at least test that 4-hour level, 152.77. And when I say test, I mean we need to test the bulls' resolve and their ability to set a higher low and continue this overall 4-hour uptrend. So it's all about these levels for me, 180.71, and then to break to new highs over 188.60 to continue this hourly uptrend. Sideways is okay for the bulls. Losing 180.71 with volume and commitment is not going to be okay. So good luck, bulls, tomorrow. Tesla. I called this one boring on purpose to see if that would have any sort of follow through. Looks like it did a little bit. The big key here is going to be the support time frame, or support from the daily time frame, 854.10, and today's low of day. Hopefully, after hours has not given us much of a break of either of these. Below these levels, we do have former resistance now, possibly support 834.50. Where'd I get one from? And then our support 785. So key range here, watching the zone of support between 858.44 and 854.10. Let's go right into the hourly time frame. Looks like we are setting up for a bear flag at this point. There's that loss of support. We saw that. We'll get into the 5-minute time frame, but loss of support, bear flag, second leg, looking for another bear flag. If we see substantial follow through, we lose 858.44. It's very likely we'd lose at 854.10. So paying special attention to that. Let's go back to our daily time frame. Oh, I see where I got that level from. Not quite right there. 835 psychological. All right. So let's go look at the 5-minute time frame and figure out what happened on Tesla today. We had that inside bar setup. We had that 897.94. We saw a nice little move early on, big volume. We saw a high. We saw a higher low, a higher high, a little bit of failure to commit to a 5-minute higher high. And then eventually we see this 5-minute bear flag dump, breaking that inside bar. And bulls were just unable to commit to much upside movements. We didn't really establish too many trends, broke back below, and we just saw that collapse further. So we shouldn't be too surprised. Bulls have been on a little bit of a run, just dipping into that overbought territory. Needing to consolidate, having not established a higher low on the daily since 785. So this is very, very expected. It's due, and it is good for long-term bulls. As long as they can stay above 785, they're going to be okay. Going into tomorrow, bears have a lot of momentum. So let's see if we can stay above 858.44 and look for a flush and support at that level tomorrow morning. Let's go take a look at Roku. So Roku is one I used to trade a long while ago. Haven't looked at too closely since then, but it looks like we have still maintained a 4-hour downtrend. Still, I should say. I was trading it back here in this absolutely beautiful daily channel. Just gave away so many gifts. I've been waiting for Roku to get back into a similar trading pattern. On the daily time frame, it's shaping up to do that right now with this low support coming into play again from, what's our low here? From April 15th. Look at this low. 101.97. Let's grab that actual level. We see just a quick flush. How much did we lose that by? Just 40 cents. $100 stock, not very much at all. And today's low of day is 101.80. So just dipping below these two levels. What I'm going to do is go and grab the lowest low of the bunch, call this my zone of support, see how it plays out in after hours. And then what I'm going to do is pay special attention to this 4-hour trend and see how it looks on the 4-hour. Actually, it looks pretty good. So it's a little bit choppy in the sense that we don't have that beautiful flow, but we do have nice hourly uptrends. And what I do in these cases, I try to grab what makes the most sense. So if I don't have a nice green candlestick up here, I'm going to pick the bottom of my highest red, pick a green if I can find one, and then I'm going to go and see if there is a parallel channel that matches, that contains most of the price action. You know what, in this case it doesn't really, but I got to keep it there anyway, just for a parallel line for reference. But the big key for me is this zone of support and this lower highs on the 4-hour time frame. Even if we get a nice hourly uptrend, we lose that trend, knock out our higher lows on the hourly, continue to develop into this 4-hour trend. What I'd love to see would be a hold of support, the bulls ride back up to the trend line, see a further rejection, come down, get another support test, and allow that trading range to give profit opportunities in the form of nice intraday trades, knowing we have this 4-hour trend at our back. So what we would need to see for that to happen in the morning tomorrow, I would need us to very much hold above this zone of support. Ideally, best case scenario, we get a nice little perfect flush into the low of the afternoon drop here, 101.83. We see a 5-minute flush getting into 2-minute oversold, absolutely perfect. If we can get that pulled off, see some bulls step in, hold that zone of support, establish my stop just underneath that low, and see if we can't ride out that move to the upside on the 4-hour time frame. Now, I've been talking a lot about a bull bias here. What happens if we lose that? Well, if we do lose that, we don't have a lot of support underneath this level on the 4-hour time frame until we are way down here at 87.30. More likely, we would see some oversold bounce conditions, 5-minute oversold, hourly oversold into nice consolidation patterns, giving you possible short opportunities or long entries with good stops below those consolidation lows. That's what we have to be watching for. But at this point, I would be looking for this zone of support to hold. It has held 3 times so far. Let's see if we can get another one tomorrow. CRWD on the daily time frame. Big run up. Earnings has, well, it's resulted in not a crazy move, so it doesn't really matter what these magic numbers say. The only magic number that matters is the price and what has been happening with that price. 90.03 is the low on our support levels for our daily time frame. Below that, we have support way down here at 751, and ultimately a new high above 101.80. There's been a lot of consolidation here, and I'm not convinced that this is going to be my daily high or low. Some people might call it that. I don't know. We haven't moved far enough away from that for me to be confident in calling that a high or low, because it's very easy for us to drop back below here, hold the EMA 26, and say, yes, that's our daily high or low. Ignore this guy. It didn't mean anything. So I need to see a confident move after a low is established for me to be more comfortable calling it that. 2 spinning tops in a row only tells me that this is indecision and a real lack of commitment to the upside on the part of the bulls. So resistance 103.80, 90.03 support. 4-hour time frame, doing its very, very best to maintain this 4-hour uptrend. There is that low, a higher low. Now, if this is going to be a higher low, based on this distance and this drop, I'm not going to expect to see a 103.80 break right away. It's more likely we would see a trend develop with a lower high, still holding the hourly trend and looking for a possible entry in the area of 100 psychological if we're able to break above that. That would give me a good 4-hour opportunity, and I would be scouting for a possible entry around that time. Right now, as long as we stay above 90.03, 4-hour bulls are going to be in good shape. And if we go to the 15-minute time frame, we can see that they are holding this 15-minute uptrend so far. For us to see good commitment to the upside, we need to see a break of 98.49 early on tomorrow to see this 15-minute trend develop up further and look toward a break of 100 psychological into that 4-hour hourly pattern we just discussed. JPM. JPM on the daily time frame, very strong close, almost a Maribuzo close. The only resistance we have in sight is 110.32, and not outside of the realm of possibility based on the last 2 days of trading action. Bulls are very much in control, not quite overbought, so that we would probably get there tomorrow. On the 4-hour time frame, we have seen a nice 4-hour trend develop. 4-hour higher lows, higher highs, big breakouts, higher lows established, and higher highs again. So at this point, what we're going to be looking for is bullish exhaustion and then a 4-hour higher low established. Best case scenario I would see would be for bulls to ride up, get below that resistance, then come down to establish that 4-hour higher low. Sorry about that. So I would be looking for a possible short around that key resistance. I'd need to see the bulls actually weaken. I would need to see those trend changes with a commitment, because I do not want to get in front of a freight train where you're just scouting possible plays. When we're talking about shorts, we're not necessarily just going to jump on and take a short position as the bulls are rampaging past these resistances. You do not want to get caught in that sort of mentality. What we want to do is see the bulls come up, waver, see some strength on the part of the bears, set our stop losses, knowing that there's been so much upside momentum here, and see if we can't ride that down instead of just stepping in front of the freight train and getting our faces ripped off, which I do not recommend at all. 0 stars. Let's look to the bear side. So if bulls fail to hold that level, or we see immediate weakness and we lose 96.78, the next support level is actually, we're very low on the daily time frame, way down here at 88.72. So that means we have to go to the 4-hour to see if there's anything else. Nothing on the 4-hour, and really minimal support on the hourly time frame as well. We got a titch of 15-minute hourly support at 104.88, and just a little bit more here at 101.95. So be careful with JPM today. Bulls are certainly on a good run, but getting overbought on the daily time frame means we need to expect some 4-hour consolidation. That time frame is also overbought. So good luck to you tomorrow, and yeah, we'll cover these videos again. Thanks.